It is a new day at Betsperts because we are now officially partners with DraftKings Reignmakers. You may be watching this video because you would like to be introduced to DraftKings Reignmakers. Maybe you've heard it discussed for football season, and now you're interested in finally getting into it ahead of the Masters and Majors. And for that, we can easily break down for you in a very quick amount of time. As always, I'm your host, John Daigle, and we'll be joining you on this journey every single week for the rest of the PGA season, not just ahead of Augusta National. And to explain how to get there and how you can get started for completely free, let's first log on to betspertsgolf.com, where you can now go to this free article at the site here introducing DraftKings Reignmakers PGA Tour. And as you heard me mention, yes, you can get started for absolutely free. Scroll down to acquire your first pack of Reignmakers cards as a first-time user. Because if you are a first-time user and you're just interested in playing now, simply by clicking this link, you can get 8 cards for completely free. It'll take you to the lobby since I've already played and got my pack. But if you're just starting, it will take you to the drop section, and then it will allow you to pick your set of free cards for 8 core plays to then play for free in the lobby. But let's slow down a minute, because first off, not only do we have all the rules here to easily explain on the site for you what to do, as you can see, the core contest, which I'm going to enter with you today, is capped to 5 core cards. So we can enter that contest for free if we have 5 core cards. And as I mentioned earlier, we get those core cards by simply opening this free 8-card starter set. Lucky for you, I have yet to open my pack. We're about to do that together. And that's the lottery. I have no idea what I'm going to get. But what I do know ahead of the Masters tournament and all Reignmakers tournaments is that if you, again, go to betspertsgolf.com, Ron Kloss's course preview, an article that I suggest everyone read, because not only because it's completely free, but because it's the most accurate and informative, in my opinion, anywhere on internet.com, will tell you the weather ahead of Augusta. And right now, when we scroll down and see the weather that we're dealing with, there's at least a, albeit small, but slight lean to the afternoon wave. Remember, the Masters is the only tournament where the wave of tee times does not change from round 1 to round 2, Thursday to Friday. So right now, if we have golfers in the afternoon playing on Thursday, we think we're getting that edge, same edge the next day. And right now, we think we're getting the edge due to the wind that's happening from 2 p.m. on, 2 p.m. Eastern on, of course. Whereas the first wave may deal with a little bit of rain. And again, this was set on Tuesday. Rain has changed a little bit since then, but we're still expecting some high winds in the morning. And then, of course, if we know that, we look at our tee times and say, okay, what am I trying to get lucky to draw for my first free 8 cards and core set? And I really want to cap it around 11:30, noon. And that's where I start saying, okay, if I start from this tier, and not necessarily these golfers exactly, but big picture, starting at the Sepp Straka HV3 12-12 tee time, I can say anyone beyond that point, like a Tom Hoge, who I will be very high on in both Reignmakers and DraftKings DFS, like a Ryan Fox, who did miss the cut this past week, but had 5 consecutive top 20s in 5 tournaments prior, which tells us he's going to be low rostered in both Reignmakers contest and DraftKings DFS for the Masters. This is really a one-on-one start and get lucky. And so from there, we can go and open our pack together. And this is where it gets interesting, because I don't know what's coming up, but I know the low ownership I want, and I know I'm crossing my fingers for the best 8 cards here, or at least some helpful. So we start with a core Morikawa. Okay. And remember, I should have explained this at the beginning, but when we're playing these lineups, Reignmakers is not complex enough, given that the contest just started at the beginning of this PGA season, where we need to be too contrarian. As I note right here, and again, the free article on the site, captain position will score 1.5x fantasy points. And you know that from Showdown contest. But given that DFS and DraftKings has been around for X amount of years, and Reignmakers hasn't even been around a full year for PGA Tour, it's not complex enough to where we need to get super contrarian across the lineup. So if I have for core contest, for instance, a Captain Morikawa, that's something I already have confidence in, because what we're really trying to do is play our best captain or best core player in the captain spot. If we can just immediately, and that's any tier, right? Core, but let's say we go down to rare cards, rare contest. As I note here, we need at least 4 rare tier cards, and I'll show you how to pick them up in the marketplace in just a moment, plus 1 core card. So right now we know that we have 1 core Colin Morikawa card, and then if we have 4 more rare tier cards, then we can enter rare contest. But again, we're just introducing ourselves to the game here. I'm just simply showing you how to get started and play for free. And so we're just going to enter core contest. And right now, Morikawa is far and away my best golfer for the Masters. My only card that I've shown you for the Masters, but my best golfer. So let's go ahead and keep going, because again, we need 5 cards, and we got a great one. Adam Scott is 7,500 on DraftKings, and I know this for certain, not only because of having won at Augusta previously, he has a green jacket in his belt, but also at 7,500 on DraftKings DFS, that takes us away from Corey Connors, one of the chalkiest plays of all, at 7,600. So he's $100 cheaper. So I already know that's how I'm going to leverage the field. But also we know Adam Scott's approach of late, and his putting at Augusta historically has been great. So he's a contrarian option that, I'm not kidding, I was going to go in the secondary marketplace and buy if I had not pulled his card from the beginning. So right now, again, trying to make a lineup of 5 plays, Morikawa and Adam Scott. We are on a roll here. Russell Henley has been accurate off the tee of late, and I really don't mind using him in a completely free contest, lower stakes like core contest, but I am still trying to get slightly better. But right now, a 3-man lineup, that's okay. Jason freaking Day. Now we're talking. So just to note, Jason Day is a player. I'm still going to go buy his rare and elite tier cards, but this is the nuts. This is the card outside of Scotty Scheffler that I wanted more than anything. Just look at Day's last 12 tournaments. And in those last 12, he's finished outside the top 21, literally the top 21 in that field in his last 12 events, 11 out of 12 times. And yet he hasn't won in that span. Not to mention that over the last 3 months, he leads this entire Masters field in strokes gained around the green. And as you've probably heard, Augusta is infamous for having vicious greens. It is impossible to land on the greens at Augusta. Yes, it might be wet due to that rain we talked about earlier. But right now, if we can get a player who can scramble from the rough, which, as I just mentioned, strokes gained around the green, that's where Day is specializing and coming into form as of late. In my opinion, Day should have top 2 odds to win the Masters. So the fact we just got his card, I can already tell you, if I don't pull a Scheffler, I'm absolutely going to captain Jason Day and have complete confidence in this core lineup. We're getting really lucky because this could go really bad. I could, for instance, get a Francisco Molinari, who, yes, has won at Masters before, but Molinari, not exactly the player we want outside of course history. So not bad, but just okay. Tyler Duncan, you want to talk about bad plays? Tyler Duncan I will not be using in the Masters lineup, because right now I'm just going to take these 5, finishing off a Molinari, and go from there. Maybe Tyler Duncan, because again, we can use core cards for every tournament moving forward. We get started on Reignmakers with a core set, our free 8-pack of players, and then we use them for every tournament. But Tyler Duncan will not be one of them, at least for the Masters. Kyle Westmoreland, also not too excited about, but that's okay. And then finally, Nick Taylor, who has been competing of late. The last 2 months has come in very close contention. So Nick Taylor's okay as well. This is honestly, for doing a video where we're not sure what's going to happen, this is almost best case scenario for drawing cards and worst case scenario for straight reactions, because this is good. It could have gotten a lot worse. So now you ask, how do we take this core lineup and enter in contest? Easily done. And I'll show you. And that's because right now, if you go to the top, this core section, tiers right here on DraftKings, As you can tell, 5 core cards is all we need for these tournaments. That's how we enter. And so we are going to enter. Let's go ahead and enter together the 50,000 guaranteed GPP, including 5,000 to first place. So as I mentioned earlier, want to put Jason Day in my lineup as the captain, seeing as outside of Scottie Scheffler, this is my own personal opinion, that's who I'm genuinely most excited about in this tournament is Jason Day, who I have outright tickets on. And from there, the rest do not matter. So for this instance, Colin Morikawa, Adam Scott, as you can tell, it puts our cards that we drew at the top, and then it goes into the marketplace after that. So just to get started on a core Scottie Scheffler, you can click this button, the option it gives you for a price, and pay $46, not bad, honestly, for Scottie Scheffler, for his core card. But we're going to stick with the packs we have here. I'm going to go Russell Henley. And then right now, Molinari, for the sake of this argument, I have a Tom Hoge rare card that I also played. But this is our 5 core lineups in this core contest. Submit lineup, and we are good to go. More importantly, if we go back to the lobby, it also allows us to pick some other options. So in core contest, you can also use, you don't have to, but you can use one rare card if you would like. And so let's assume I don't have a rare card in my packs under this particular account that we use. If that's the case, then we just go to the shop right here, PGA Tour, which I'm at right now. I have a couple golfers already highlighted that I know I'll be higher on than the field. This is the way for strategy I leverage low ownership in Reignmakers. I say, okay, these players won't be high roster in DFS, and thus I think they're going to go overlooked in Reignmakers. So then I can go to the secondary marketplace and basically buy my low ownership there. And if that's the case, a player that will absolutely not be rostered and only be rostered by me because I hate myself is Brian Harman, who does have terrific history at the Masters, is top 15 in this field over the last 3 months on distance from the edge of the fairway when driving, which again is available in our PGA stats database at betspertsgolf.com. You can pop it into your own model and then customize that model. The issue, of course, is that in 4 of his last 5 events, Brian Harman hasn't gained strokes on approach. And so although I can't guarantee you, although I want to say Brian Harman will be accurate off the tee, I can basically guarantee he won't be accurate drive approaching the green. Having said that, given that he's still, albeit a noisy stat, gaining strokes on putting the last 3 months, I want to take my chance on a very volatile player like Brian Harman, especially to make him asset of myself on this show. And so, for instance, if I want to do that, I just go here, Brian Harman, rare card. I can confirm here, and boom, I have my Brian Harman rare card. The shop is literally that easy. And then we can go back, again, to rare contests that are smaller fields, but give out equivalent to the lower tier or even more money. We need, as it says, 4 rare cards and 1 core. But for the sake of this stream, just to introduce it, we know that we can, if we choose to, pop Brian Harman one rare card into this core contest. And then we fill it out with the rest of our core cards. We're not going to do that today. I just wanted to introduce you how to play, since this is going to become a new weekly journey for all of us as we try to take down a Reignmakers contest together. But remember, until next week, all you have to do to get started, betspertsgolf.com, introduction article. I have the link on the top here just for you to click on and get your free cards. Do not draw Francisco Molinari. That's probably the first rule. And then from there, you can figure it out and play the strategy that way in core contest. Again, it's all for free on the site. And you can get started with Reignmakers that way as we continue to take down at least one of these tournaments every single week. So if you have any questions, you know where to reach me, at @NowJDaigle on Twitter. And until then, good luck at the Masters, enjoy Reignmakers, and win some money. See you next time.